We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Paragon, the Overprime partners, aka Pop. For this week, we're going to be talking all about Overprime. We're going to be talking about the message that was sent out by Ranger, talking about how they've been losing numbers, what we can do to kind of help out with that, and then we'll talk about ranked a little bit as well. I am the Mangoose. Joining me, as always, and streaming this week is Stunt. How you doing, Stunt? Doing great. So Stunt is streaming on Twitch. I will pop the Twitch link in momentarily. You guys can check him out on the Twitch if you want to, if you prefer to watch that way. For your viewing play. And you've already heard from her a little bit tonight, but go ahead and introduce yourself, NureOnna. Uh-oh.
And what's going on about that. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Ego?
Yo guys, I'm Ego. I've been streaming a lot more on Twitch. I'm a partner along with some of these awesome, sultry, super cool people. Yeah, today we're going to be touching on what we can do to help grow the game, some of our thoughts, opinions, and communicating to you guys, the Paragon community. It'll be sick.
Thanks for the heads up about the sound, guys. Unfortunately, I had you guys muted for like the first little bit of that, but
it's okay. You guys didn't miss anything.
I just announced my engagement to Stunt. I guess none of you are getting tickets to the video.
From my background now. Smack.
Lo, I need you to get off my man, please. Thank you.
So let's get right into the meat and potatoes here. The message from Ranger talking about how they've been losing players. They're going to be looking at the data and seeing what they could do to fix and retain new players. I think Overprime actually attracted a brand new audience to the game, but they came, they saw, and they went away. So what can they do to make that better? Ranger has been addressing this in Discord ever since. He's been talking about a variety of things. Some of the things kind of worry me a little bit, but what I want to talk about tonight is what we can do as a community to help them retain players. I think this is a big problem. This is a problem that's I talked about in the video I did yesterday, and it's something that's going to affect predecessor as well when they go free to play. These new players coming in have no idea how to play Paragon, whereas the old Paragon player base at least has some clue as to what they need to do. They know about last hitting minions. They know basic MOBA mechanics. So when you get new people in your games, don't just flame the dog shit out of them. Try to guide them and help them and teach them instead of just being extremely toxic, which I see a lot of people being very toxic. I've already received messages from people saying that they tried Overprime for a few days, but they got flamed so much that they just didn't want to play it anymore. I think that's the main thing we could do as a community is be mentors, not toxic assholes.
Yeah, don't be dicks, guys. I feel like another big thing to I think Mangoose said it earlier, and it may not roll over with a lot of people, but quick play is practice, right? You're not gaining or losing anything in these games. I'm sure you may yourself be, trying to polish your mechanics or, pull team plays and stuff, but unless you're running 5 people deep, you may be training to be an esports player, but Timmy T could have just got off his 9-hour shift, man, and he just wants to play a little bit of Rev support. I mean, not great, but you get the meaning. So just try to like give people a little bit of leeway on things, and instead of like hitting them with the, oh dude, why are you doing this? What's going on there? Oh, that's such a stupid play. Maybe just be like, hey man, try this item. This is your lane. That type of thing.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Are you really gonna be able to fix that though? Or, honestly speaking, no matter how much advice we give them, you're still gonna get those. You're still gonna get those groups in. I think I do agree with Magus when he says something needs to be done, in the sense that maybe these new players need to be put on a newer bracket. Like when they come in, play somebody more on their own level. Whereas
So you're
they
talking
jump in right away.
matchmaking? You're talking matchmaking, like
Whether it's
actually better
matchmaking, whether it's because they're new players, put them in some sort of like. I heard this on a podcast too on Monday when Bearded and Wendy were talking about it on Primecast. Maybe put them in a separate like elo system where they get to play with each other, whereas they get matched up with more experienced players like us who come from a Paragon background, right? I agree with that, because aside from all the shit talking or saying stuff about some of these players, we kind of stomp them, and it's not like we do it on purpose. It's the game. You know what I mean? It's the game that allows us to do that to the newer players.
It's I don't know what you mean by it's the game that allows us to do it. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to play their game. We're here. We're putting in between 20 minutes, sometimes even 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. And we have newer players on our teams. And it's just like, you know, you talk maybe first, hey, yo, rotate, yo, what's up, do this, do that. And it's just not happening. And then it just keeps getting worse. You're trying to F1, yo, press F1. They don't know where the F1 button is, or maybe they just don't want to F1. And things tend to get a little bit more on the tighter edge, and it starts to become a roast flame party where all of a sudden they just quit. You know, I've personally had a game yesterday where, you know, my friend and I, we were 2v5ing a gameplay, and the three people were absolutely ignorant of what's going on. Now, we thought they were absolutely new players, well, which we ended up figuring out that they weren't new players. They're just being, you know, the way they want to be. And, you know, it just, we understand that you want to play the game. You don't want to waste your time. But like, even if you shit talk them, it's not going to make a difference. They're just going to end up leaving. And I know you don't want to sit there and cater or babysit somebody or be extra nice and whatever, you know. And I know, like, putting them separately in a needle bracket, like you're saying, Stunt, it's like, hey, you have to be in a probation period, and if you're good enough, we'll release you. Well, you see how, like, for example, they do it for ranked. Like, you have to have your placements, you have to be in a placement done, and then we'll take you into ranked, and then you'll start playing. Like, you're released like that. Maybe something like that for casual, where they have to complete like a specific tutorial, for example, and they actually have to complete it. You know, they have to pass it, basically. They have to prove in that tutorial that they were able to, like, there's no skipping tutorial. Like, why are you able to skip tutorial? They should not allow people to skip tutorial, because if you are a new player, you need that practice. You need to know. You are not just going to get released, pick a hero, go in, and probably mess up people's game. I'm not sure if they're really able to do something like that, but as simple as not skipping tutorial is something that would maybe do a little bit of a benefit to this.
Yeah, and then I think that it's good that they have ranked and quick match, but people need to stop treating quick match like it's ranked. If you want to be a competitive douchebag, go play ranked. Go, you know, fight me in ranked, man. Like, I play ranked when I want to be serious. There are heroes that I will not touch in ranked mode that I will dick. Like, I dick around with Aurora Jungle in quick match. Maybe one day I'll get good enough with it to where I can bring that into ranked. But quick match is practice mode. It's practice mode. So stop, like, going off on people because you're losing your quick match game. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about your quick match game, because we have ranked. We have a ranked mode where you can be competitive. And it's kind of a bit of a free-for-all now because the game is brand new. I think I made a pretty good analogy when I was talking about, if I were to give you 1,000 people right now and tell you to make a competitive basketball league, you couldn't fucking do it, because you have no idea what the different people's skill level is. Now, after that first season, and you know people's individual skill level a little bit better, then you're going to have a much, much better second season. So people bitching about how they're getting placed against noobs in ranked or placed with noobs in ranked, just fucking ride it out for a little bit, man. Like it's a brand new game. Their matchmaking isn't going to be perfect. It's not, I think what you were alluding to was I was saying that MMR needs to start at 0, not at the mid range, and then you drop MMR. You need to just only start at 0 and go up from there. Yeah. That way, because I don't know, that was a mistake on Fault's part, but Fault was a unique situation where you only had hardcore, diehard Fault fans playing Fault. So like even bronze players in Fault would absolutely demolish people in either predecessor or Overprime. So, I mean, but still, I think they should start at 0 for MMR.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It seems conceptually like a bad idea to assume that someone coming into a game has average skill level, right? Like you bring 1,000 people into a basketball court and you just assume everyone is at least okay at shooting free throws. It should be something you have to prove over repetition. And then for players who do care to want to play a little bit more competitively, even in their quick playing casual matches. If you're being matched up against these other people, the increasing of your MMR from 0 to whatever point that suits your win rate will get you into a bracket of the game where you are going to be more comfortable and have hopefully more experienced players such as you come in, start winning from 0 and don't be at 0 anymore. And I feel like that would just be pretty huge as far as like affecting the quality of life and improving the quick play gameplay that some people have a problem with. But overall, like Mangu said, it's casual. No one cares. No one cares. I've like messed around and like played a Revenant jungle and stuff and like build them as an attack speed instead of crit guy. Like if I'm playing in casual, most of the time I'm here having fun, grouped up with friends, and we're just chatting. So just, I don't know, guys, don't forget, it's just a game. We can step back. Enjoy it. You know, I understand you got like your Mountain Dew in one hand. You're just like, they're not rotate. Like, it's relax, breathe, man. Some people are just trying to have a good time, you know?
You know what? And in some of these cases too, I do agree with chat. I've been looking at chat for Mangus's page and my my Twitch. In some cases, some of these new players are to be blamed too. You know how many times I've gone into my placement matches where a new player will come in and not know what lane they're going to? Even when you tell them to follow the arrows? Nah.
I don't think I will.
Faye as a support and not leave mid lane, knowing that I was a Howie mid and I was going to continue mid. That person did not leave mid lane. So it was almost like having a dead weight in our placement match.
And it's something that Ranger did discuss in the developer's diary. He was talking about, he's heard the feedback that the level requirement needs to change for ranked. I think that will offer a bit of a buffer. They may have learned by the time they hit level 10 or level 15, but I think you're still in your placement matches are going to get matched with junglers that have no idea that the smite item exists, or you're going to get that ADC that with no vision of the map pushes all the way to the inhibitor, then gets mad at their team because they died. It's like, bro, Prime Guardian is the way you win this game. You're not going to do dick by taking that inhibitor. Like, what are you? Why are you not with the team? It's not why are we not with you? It's why are you not with us? That's what I'm trying, very desperately trying to get out of my mouth right now.
I do want to answer Bearded Wolverine. He asked a question in your chat. Yes, I am experiencing long queue times, but I'm only experiencing it in NA West. Even when I play around this time, which is supposed to be the peak of everybody's game time and stuff, like being 6 p.m., 7 p.m., I get maybe 25-minute queues, 20-minute queues for ranked. I don't get that in NA East. If I team up with Menace or if I team up with Low or Bearded or Mangoose, I don't get that when we queue East. But when I do queue West alone, I do get 20-25-minute queues.
The placement or like in your regulars?
No, I've already been placed, so it should be And like I said, I don't play that late for me to worry about people being asleep. It's around this time, and this should be the peak hours when it comes to NA West. So
No,
I started doing my placements. I'm on my 6th queue, NA East, and it was like a 5-minute pop-up queue. It was magical. It was beautiful. I was like, why do people complain? I don't see it, right? Like mine is popping off really great. And on my 6th queue is when I had to wait 20 minutes and above. I don't know what happened. I used to think that, well, NA West was the newer server. NA East was there before. Maybe that's the issue, but then no. Boom, I'm sitting there waiting 20, 30 minutes for a match. By the time, I'm in a match, oh, did I really queue? Oh shit, I did not accept that. And this is another actually topic that Ranger talked about also in the developer's diary in the Discord of Paragon the Overprime, is that accept button and reject. Like he's asking, yes, why do we need to have it? Maybe not having it completely, the accept and reject is better than having it. You went into a queue, you accepted or you rejected. At that point, if you are not there, you get the ban. Like there's no need for it. Eliminate it. I don't know. I feel like it is kind of nice to have it, but because some people are intentionally, like what we all know, like they're intentionally ruining the experience where people will be waiting for long queues and placement, and then you get that queue and then all of a sudden somebody's rejecting it and then it restarts all over again. Some people are intentionally doing it. The devs know about it. They're working on it. They're reiterating, even completely removing the accept or reject part there. So I guess that's a plus. What do you guys think? Have you ever seen like any real benefit from acceptance?
Hearing the bloop, 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 bloop is my favorite part of Overprime, and you're trying to take that away from me. You and Ranger are trying to take the bloop, 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 bloops away from me from hitting accept.
Absolute state. I can't believe you do this. No,
I mean, in ranked, maybe it's important-ish. It can stay, but I'm not gonna lie to you. In quick play, get that shit off. You know
Yeah,
why?
I don't think you need it in ranked either.
Yeah, because man, if I'm in my casual gameplay and I'm at the drafting screen and I forget, and let's say I lock in support, right? And I don't choose my character because I forgot, I didn't pay attention. It literally locks in a character for me, and mind you, I have support chosen and locked. It does not lock for me a support hero. It'll lock for me like Sevrog. Like what the heck? Maybe work support. Exactly. So maybe work on the aspect of the casual first, because there is where we have the more problem than the ranked. I guess starting from there. I don't know. I kind of don't like the bleep 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 like I don't want people to like reject it when I'm there waiting forever.
Watching chat and seeing the comments, like somebody in my chat said NA West feels low population. I don't know if it's the population issue. I think it's the matchmaking issue behind everything. From my understanding, if I want to queue up with somebody that plays that's already been placed, right? I don't think as a silver 1 or 2, I can team up or partner up with a gold 1 or a platinum, correct? It's one level higher and one level below, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think when you go into a solo queue to play a ranked match, it's only allowing you to play somebody that's one level above you and somebody that's one level below you. And with that said, maybe the queue times can be extended. That's why we're getting bad queue times. If it allows like silver, gold, and silver and gold to play against each other, and then you have platinum, diamond, and masters, or whatever the case is, I think the queue times would be shorter. But the way I think they're doing it is, if you're silver 2, you can either play silver 1 or silver 3. And with that said, I don't think we have enough player base yet in ranked to be able to get shorter queue times.
As far as NA West versus NA East, though, if people are getting faster queues in NA East than NA West, then is almost certainly a population problem in NA West.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't they have the option to switch in their settings to any?
Yeah, they can queue NA East. They just have to deal with a higher MS.
Yeah.
Better than
earlier, Mangoose, we were in the chat briefly, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start taking notes for tonight's show." So what I did was I actually recorded here my ranked timer for my non qualifier matches. Literally, the first one was 14 minutes. The second one was 19 minutes. The next one was 9, and after that, the next one was 26 minutes to get into a ranked game.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was pretty violent. And after the last one, I just didn't have the motivation to continue playing it. I agree with what you were saying, Stunt, about extending maybe at the lower levels who you can play with. Like, I can understand in some way, for like some people's opinion, it can make it maybe harder to get out of those lower ranks if you're going against people who have been proven to have a higher skill level than you. But I mean, trial by fire, baby. Like, I'm at a point with the matchmaking timers where not even, well, yeah, especially just in ranked, that something needs to be done. And I don't see the harm, actually, like Sun said, and extending it to where, like, you can, as a silver player, play up against like gold 4, gold 3 player, maybe even someone a little bit higher, and so on and so forth for lower ranks. And maybe you put a hard stop at that. Like, maybe gold players are playing with plat players, but plat players aren't playing with masters players, right? And that's its own kind of little isolated bubble. But as it stands now, I think Mangoose might be right, and it could possibly be a population issue, because I switched around between both, and it was significantly faster on NA East.
I think they also need to, as far as rank goes, they probably need to do SBMM, skill-based matchmaking. I think that would be incredibly helpful. In my placements, I played support for a vast majority of my games. I played mid once, and I played offlane once. I won both of the games, but I played support for the vast majority, and I lost a lot of games. I got put bronze 1. Even though my KDA was insane because I wasn't dying a lot, yet I was getting a hell of a lot of assists as a support. But because the KDA was, there's no skill-based matchmaking, it was just taking into account wins versus losses, I got placed in bronze 1, which, oh well. I mean, since my placement matches, I've only lost 1 game, and I've been playing almost all mid lane or off lane and just absolutely wrecking people. That kind of sucks for them that they're. I'm definitely not a bronze level player, but I am in bronze. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like whenever you're in a placement, it's just spinning the wheel. It's just so random what teammates you're going to get and how well they're going to perform. But after that, it should even out. Like I said, it's Wild Wild West right now. It'll even out as things move on and people play a little bit more.
They give more feedbacks, obviously, as we've seen in the developers diary there in the Discord, that they are listening to us. They are listening to our feedbacks. They're reiterating everything from the start of calling it a brawler, where Ranger said, "I've designed this game to be, I believe, 70%." He did exactly say 70% fight and 30% game management. Now they're reiterating, people can't. They want to improve that part where, like, they're adjusting balance of kill and assist experience, portal cooltime, minion experience value, minion speed, even sprint mode, stuff like that. They're working on the very minute things to make this game better. So definitely they're here in the community. Definitely they're doing, their best at heart. Again, these guys have been working on this game for so long. The game is very fun. Yes, it needs to be fixed. It needs to be tweaked to become better. Right. And this is not like, oh yeah, the game is dying and whatever, like what I read in Reddit almost every day since this announcement. But those little things, I believe, when we report them, be patient. They are working on them. They're not silent because, oh, they just released and forgot about it. No, they're working. They're actually really working. If you guys follow up and read, if you guys are in the Discord and you follow up, these guys are working on everything that we are talking about here.
So, based off of what you were saying just right now, though, when Ranger said, and I'm going to read that directly off of what he's saying, I will try to adjust the balance of kill and assist experience value, portal cooldown, minion experience value, and the minion speed, also sprint mode. This almost sounds like they're going to slow the game, the pace of the game down, to allow more farming in lane.
Yes,
So
the
question is, are they going to step away from a much faster MOBA to a more, I wouldn't want to say original, but more of a slower pace, especially when he put also sprint mode. So if you get rid of sprint mode and you add portal cool times a little, if you make it a little longer, minion experience, depending on how much value you get, you're initially just slowing down the game and turning it into a a regular MOBA.
Well, but he didn't.
That's
say
true, Deathfire.
delete sprint mode. He didn't say delete sprint mode.
Just, yeah, they can maybe
just
slow it
said
down.
cooldown.
Yeah, or
So in the portal, they don't want you to rotate as often. Maybe they actually want us to have a true laning period. You know, you want to be able to farm this much minions to be able to get this much gold to buy your first item, and then you'll start to rotate. They want to decrease the amount of rotation. Yeah. Maybe that happens in the beginning of the game, which is very crucial, to be honest. Like, I just hop in a game. I love fighting immediately, but sometimes it's just like, it's too much happening at once at the beginning. Like, too much. Like, maybe a little bit to have a real laning phase just at the beginning, and then, you know, I don't know if there's something where past a certain time or a certain level or something, those cooldowns would change, and you're just, I don't know. It's I just hope they don't remove sprint mode, because I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a little worried right now, because from the way they're talking, I hope they take a light hand to it. I hope they aren't heavy-handed. I hope they don't just take Overprime back to just being a traditional MOBA, because, and I might get some shit for saying this, if you're looking for a more traditional MOBA version of Paragon, Predecessor is just better. It's just a better game in that regard. So why the fuck would you play Overprime when you could play Predecessor if they take Overprime and turn it into a traditional MOBA? I love that Overprime is more of a third-person action-oriented third-person shooter / MOBA than it is a traditional MOBA. I really enjoy Overprime for that reason, and I hope that they don't take that away in order to retain players, because I don't think that's why they're losing players. I think the game is fun as fuck. Yeah, maybe fix some bugs here and there, and definitely the gameplay loop towards the end of the match needs to be adjusted 100% on that end, because you get to that point in every fucking game where it's just two teams waiting for Prime to spawn. That's it. Because minions don't do shit. If they could make minions do a little bit more, I think that would be nice, so that it's effective to set a lane and shit like that. But I certainly hope that they don't slow the game down to a crawl, and definitely please keep sprint mode in. Keep those portals going. Yeah, increase the cooldown on them, that's fine, but maybe make them spawn a couple minutes later than they do now. I don't know, but don't take them out. I like them. Yeah. I like that craziness.
Yeah, keep the originality. Stand behind the originality of the game. Like, you're released like this. This is how this game is. Don't take the originality from the game away because you are trying to listen to the player base and retain more players. But hey, we all forgot, if they are going to tweak this much and go heavy-handed on it, they're going to lose their actual, like, what the game is about. This game is about to be faster paced, not just like Mangu said, like Predecessor, like the original traditional MOBA. This is not what Overprime released. This is not, you know, it's fun like the way it is. Very fun the way it is. What do you think, Ego?
I'm enjoying it a lot. I saw a post online, I think it was in the Overprime Facebook group, where someone had the suggestion of making a way to make the minions more impactful and how setting a lane can actually feel like it's getting somewhere. Because I can't tell you how many times I've set a lane to leave it and hope it can push down this tower, or maybe just push up to an objective, apply pressure, and one mage and 3 abilities later, and they're like rotating back to lane. Is having some type of conglomerate effect where the more minions there are within a certain space, so you set that lane and it starts pushing itself, the more waves that fall into each other, their movement speed and defense increases. Maybe they don't do more damage, but they will more quickly clear the lane and forcefully push themselves up. And because of that higher increased defense over the course of the waves crashing into each other, they can't be cleared quite as quickly, right? It takes a little bit more time, which allows you then to openly go take an objective as a team, maybe make rotations. It'll keep that person on the map for longer periods. And I personally thought that was a good idea. As far as there just kind of being a laning phase in the game, it's I agree with Mangoose here that if you're looking for like a super hard, like you want to play League 3D but pretty, go play Pred. This because it's not that game. This game has a big priority on fast movement, a lot of things that just make it fun, make you kind of like get your blood pumping as you're kind of like rotating, bumping around, and it's something that I didn't know I needed until I tried the game. But I understand the kind of concept of them being like, okay, well, a laning phase for us means portals don't spawn till 8 minutes. and then it's off the hinges.
Yeah.
Maybe extend that timer, give us till like 12 minutes, 15. Have the maybe starting point for the damage that is done by minions to not only players but to towers start at a bit of a higher threshold. That way, if you do leave your lane to rotate, that damage that your towers are going to be taken from minions maybe isn't so negligent. Make it more impactful, make it matter a bit more. But those are, I really think like minions can be a very big key part component in tweaking them to making the overall game's health better, both in the
100%.
early game and late game. Like they need, and like Mango said, they don't need like they just like, okay, a little more damage here. All right.
And make people feel there's players need to worry about defending a tower versus no, my first priority after I spawn is to go fight and kill, join the fight. Oh no, I need to pay attention to my tower, to my map. Oh, minions are pushing in. I need to clear that because I know what's going to happen if I don't. That's where you're prioritizing. So many times I'm in casual games, for example, we have a way to actually go take the inhibitor, but no, let's wait for prime. It's like we're just waiting on that prime spawn because it's more important. We know if we take it, it's going to do that damage to the inhibitor. And you know what? Maybe 1 or 2 hits, somebody can go and dive and tank it. It's done. It's gone. Like just that side, the aspect of the game, especially with waiting for prime 10 minutes.
That's a problem too. Like minions matter so little in the game that I'll be on Shinbi. We'll be pressing towards an inhib and like my team's waiting for the minions to come up. I'm like, what the fuck are you waiting for? We don't need the minions. I'll tank the tower as Shinbi. I'll tank this inhibitor. I don't give a fuck. We can take it right now. We don't have to wait for the minions. You don't need minions in Overprime. The minions in Overprime are there to get golden experience until super minions spawn. Then super minions actually will push your core down if you're not careful. But maybe that's what they need to do. Just increase minion armor a little bit. And give the towers more armor when there's no minions present.
Yeah.
Hit it more.
Yeah, I saw this interesting idea of like, if I read a lot of Overprime stuff online, I'm like, I'm no life in real bad now. But I also saw that the ward slot, that I love that. But maybe have the inhibitors, maybe don't have it be a tower thing, because then people can camp behind it. And you guys know my philosophy in chat, in this group among you guys, we are here to protect those towers. They're not here to protect us. But in that same vein, it feels pointless to not necessarily have them, but work defending around them if they're not really contributing in any way. So like, oh no, my headset. So maybe in some vein, just have your minions able to push tower, and maybe have the tower at a point be able to do some type of true damage if you buy certain items around them. It's something they have in Smite that's worked pretty well over the course of the game, and they implemented after they had a very defensive meta. So it just thoughts on things that could help evolve the game and small changes.
I want to point out, Spiritual Soul in my chat said that Ranger also said that there will be a separate item slot for wards. That's a welcome change that I had not heard about till tonight. Deathfire, that would be cool. He says that in Super Monday Night Combat had a pretty interesting mechanic where you could spend money at your base to spawn minions with unique special abilities. I think that would be way in the future for Overprime, but that does sound like a cool idea.
Imagine now we can actually carry wards and not be, hey, where's your wards? Like, a lot of time you just don't want to carry it anymore because you want to build, Having that spot is crucial now. That's something really from the beginning of releasing the game. We all said, everybody was agreeing to, hey, we need a spot for wards. This is something that's always been there. Why you take it away? People don't want to carry wards anymore, and people don't realize. Well, they didn't realize how important it was until they actually started having wards. But then again, it falls off like kind of mid of the game, where no, I just would rather have more cards than that one slot. I need to finish my card build.
Never until I am full build, absolutely full build, do I give up. I would love to have the ability to put a little extra damage in there, or a little extra tankiness, or something, because I'm always carrying wards so that I can ward the prime spirit.
You're one of very few.
Absolutely.
I know.
You know how many maps I've seen that are extremely empty? I've even got a response where you tell somebody to go ward prime. They go, what's a ward? I'm not kidding you. What do you mean? What's a ward?
Watcher's eye here.
Yeah,
It-
no, I do like the speed of the game. This is why I fell in love with Overprime. I do agree with you guys. If I wanted a slow paced a slow paced game, more Paragonish game, 100% it's a predecessor. But the speed of this game, the action in this game, the game style itself, like the fight style and everything, is more of my taste. And if they decide to change that or go more traditional, it'll probably be an issue for me too, a big issue. Because it's this one message that Ranger wrote that scared me the most. After saying that they focus 70% on the fight and 30% on game management, to increase the speed and tension of the game, his next sentence, however, the result was not so. That's the line that scared me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you
think
mean
they're
it's
gonna
not so? You
decrease?
got the speed of the game, the portals help in rotation. It some like it, some don't. I mean, I enjoy it. So what is it that wasn't more of his taste? You know what I mean? What results was he expecting that he doesn't already have when it comes to speed of the game? I mean, from the closed the final beta test or the global test to now, I haven't. There's a significant difference when you get like a long game. My longest game I've had has been about 45 minutes. Usually games end within 20 to 35 minutes, which is the sweet spot we were talking about in
Hey,
this
I've had
podcast.
60 minutes. I've had 60. They were fun.
What? A 60-minute
I
game?
Yeah, I've
haven't
had
seen
60
60. I
minutes.
haven't seen 60 since
Oh, yeah.
the
Again, it's
final
so random.
global
It
test.
depends on your team. If you're going in a
Yeah.
5-stack or even a 3-stack, you got the control. If you're going solo queue or like dual stack, yeah, you get those. I've had those a couple nights ago. It was pretty brutal, but fun. Like the way it is, the game the way it is with just the minor tweaks, it's fun the way it is.
I don't know what I would do with my. How do you have a 60-minute game when it brings your core to 1%? This must have
you
been
gotta
in the
think
Hall
Call
of
of Duty
Fame.
style, coming from the Call of Duty. Can I get a nuke? Can I get a sturdy bomb? That's how I start to think about it. That's
Yeah, I mean, the only way I
could.
could think of is if your teammate wants to get like 40 kills and he's begging you not to end the game.
Don't take their core.
Let me go get a few more pentas. I'll be fine. But like, I haven't had 60-minute games since the final global test. No.
I'm imagining like TB is just standing outside their core as they're spawning in. Just guys, I just need a couple
ignoring
more
that
kills.
1% core.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stand next to it.
I've had close to 60-minute games because it gets to the point where every game gets where it gets to that point where, like I said, you're waiting for the objectives, but you always got that one asshole on your team that thinks it's a good idea to push forward, and then they get picked, and then it turns into a 4v5 over the Prime Guardian, and then you're fucked. But I've had games where neither team had that asshole, so nobody was getting picks. Everybody was roaming as a crew. We would get into these big fights over the Prime Guardian, and you'd be limping away with maybe 2 people alive on each team, and that's not enough to take the Prime because they know that there's still 2 people alive on your team, and it just goes back and forth like that. That was actually that was a fun game, like a good even matched up game. Sucked that it went that long, but yeah, I mean that's kind of how it should be. However, would the game go that long if minions actually did something? Probably not, because you can't just go force Prime if you have minions on your inhibitor. If minions do something, the way it is right now, I don't give a fuck about that minion wave pushing our inhibitor. Go to Prime. Those minions are not going to take that inhibitor. I don't care what fucking percentage of health it is. Those minions are almost certainly not going to take that inhibitor. Go to fucking Prime. It's far more important.
As funny as this is gonna sound, minions are well overbalanced in this game. Like if you leave a lane completely alone for 5-10 minutes while you're doing other objectives, the likeliness of those minions slowly pushing, like playing tug of war, is gonna be huge. I haven't seen that in other games. If you leave a lane for a good 5 minutes, those minions are gonna push, depending on how strong your team is, because of their scaling.
Mm-hmm.
In Overprime, it's like you said, Mangus, like who gives a shit if sometimes sometimes you see the minion wave coming towards you and you still back to go finish that cart because you know you're going to come back and clean it up.
I want a T-shirt for this game that just says "Go do Prime."
Go do Prime.
That's how
man,
go
what
do
you were
Prime.
saying, if I get a 60, 65-minute game, even a 70-minute game, because both teams are equally strong, I'm okay. But when I'm getting a 60-minute game because the game isn't balanced and like that snowball effect or whatever is kicking in, like we had in the final global test, that's not what I'm okay with.
Yeah.
A long game where the team is equally matched, and even my chat is saying the same thing. Equally matched games are really fun when you constantly challenge each other and you get objectives.
And check, yeah, I agree. If the inhib has gone down once and then it's the second version of the inhib and it's got supers on it, yeah, it'll go down then. Yeah, of course. But super minions do a surprising amount of damage to the core. However, like if I'm playing Countess, I'm usually kind of happy when our inhibitor goes down because I get so much free gold from executing super minions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh sweet, our inhib's down. Now I can farm the dog shit out of this lane.
See, I'm like, oh boy, it's free real estate now, boys. Go over, drop a couple rocks on them.
I did not just fix my overlay. It did not say stunt the whole time. It has said stunt the entire time.
Stunt? Oh, I like that.
Not bad. Stud.
Sounds
Stud
better.
V. Stud V.
V.
Does look a little off center though.
I'm always off center. That's not your overlay. You're good.
I think he was talking about the guy that was behind me earlier.
Low is a little off center.
I'm trying to show off Decker. Okay, I was showing off.
Nobody wants to see her front. Turn her around.
She doesn't turn. I'm trying.
Let's see that back animation.
I join you guys off to the side in camaraderie.
I'm gonna stay centered up.
To the right.
I'm gonna stay centered up. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think they need to fix about the game. If they could somehow address the last quarter of the match, I think it would be great. I think the first three quarters of the match are fun, and the last quarter is boring.
Unless you're getting a lot of kills, it's actually almost fun.
Even still, it's kind of boring. Like, I don't know, that's subjective too. Like, I don't have to get a lot of kills for it to be fun. I just need to get cool kills for it to be fun. By the way, one of my new favorite things to do is to let bait Azina into ulting me on Gideon and then teleporting under my tower and ulting till she gets stuck in the air in my ultimate while taking tower. Oh, fuck you, Xena. Take that. I love that.
The satisfaction, dude. No, I'll get late game. I agree. It kind of gets, because like we talked about earlier, you're just doing the Overprime Tango. A lot of the time, I will say though,
the Overprime Tango.
I will say, subjectively, this is just an opinion here. There is nothing funner in the entirety of the world than being a Countess 35 plus minutes into the game. Holy shit. You just see the terror just set into the eyes of anyone with less than 4,000 HP. Because you just walk up, ult, auto, wave, auto, gone. And you just tuck them in the holsters and you go. And it's so amazingly fun, dude. But overall, broad stroke, yeah, the last bit of the game can be, I wouldn't say boring, almost like tentative, right? Like everyone's too scared because the game from the beginning up to that point is all about like action. Who's going to gank first? Who's going to rotate? Are you going to leave lane? Am I going to leave lane? Portal's up, taking it right now. Ganking solo. Here we go. And then you hit that threshold where everyone's like, who is going to take Prime? Because that's going to decide who wins this game. And we're like not talking in circles, but it comes back again to kind of some minor balance changes, other ways to win in this game outside of Prime. And I get like objectives are important in the MOBA experience, but having lanes be able to push harder, maybe having Prime, or maybe having like all of the spirits over the course of the game, you do like an additional like 20% tower damage at that point, right? You've collected all four, you're like the Pokemaster, Ash Ketchum, you did it. And it's easier for you to...
Did you collect the fifth? Or I should say the sixth.
The sixth.
The special Prime. The special Prime spirit.
The special spirit, yeah.
the unique way. Wait, guys, am I being trolled? Is there like a super spirit?
Yes, if you take 6 of them,
Are you what?
it gives you all the spirit buffs when you take it.
Like, okay, wait, is that over the course of? Is that for like both people? So the 6th time it's like spawns, it's like super.
No. Your team has to get it 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times in a row.
But I mean, if you think,
there's a menace.
Chat, tell me if I'm
Yeah.
controlled. Is this real?
it spawns every 5 minutes, so most games don't go for 30 minutes, and you would have to take it at exactly 5 minutes every time in a 30-minute match to get it, and your team would have to get it every single time. So it's rare to see it, but it happens. Ton in my chat says they need to increase mid late game XP because it takes too long to get to level 18. I think that more spawns from what I was saying, where you get to that point in the game where nobody wants to go out to farm because they'll just get destroyed. So you're actually getting less farm in the late game than you are in the early game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slonky is in my chat says, only problem for me is the feeding during laning phase of my teammates just snowballs enemies to the point I cannot farm fast enough to catch up. And he's right. He's right at, like, when you have a support who constantly wants to poke and play aggressive and constantly feeds the enemy carry, you need to go farm to catch up, and it makes it hard. I'm not saying.
Wait, why are you talking about the support? Why are you specifying the support? If the support wants to poke and play aggressive.
I'm just saying it.
Don't.
Will feels personally
Well, don't.
especially those phase players, like the phase players.
Right? Dude,
People that want to play
long
phase
hair.
support and
Jesus
stuff.
Christ,
Oh.
man! Like, you started talking, and I saw like mentally Lo's hand come up like this.
Yeah,
what?
You gotta play aggressive as a support, just not stupid aggressive. You want to play aggressive. Don't feed.
Yeah, but we were talking about the stupid aggressive. Why are you taking it upon yourself?
Okay, yeah, stupid
feel
aggressive is
personally
fine.
attacked.
That's domain, different domain.
I think Overprime and Predecessor right now kind of have the same problem, is that early game objective management is far more important to the invariable outcome of the game than anything else you do. Like late game wave management doesn't matter. Is like Predecessor, as long as if you get 3 fang tooths or 4 fang tooths, you're fucking set. You don't really have to fucking like that matters more than individual skill in both games. Overprime, take that the mini me and send it down a lane. That's a tower. Then you get those prime spirit buffs and they stack up, and your team's just fucking jacked. Like early game management of those neutral objectives in both games are kind of ruining both games, or kind of making them a little less fun and a little less MOBA-y.
Damage steal support is where the aggro's go.
Ooh.
Dude, I've seen enough jungler steals now to respect it. The first time I saw it, I was like, dude, why are you throwing my ranked match?
Yeah, I saw a comment in my chat earlier at the very beginning, said that they need to nerf tanks. They need to buff tanks. No, they do not. The two absolute best heroes in the game right now are Rampage and Steel.
Yep, and it's not close.
Not even close.
Not even close. A Rampage got through one game. I let it through because I was like, okay, no one expects it to get through. And I won't lie, this is on me. I was top picking that game. I just got bullied out by a gadget, and they banned ref in it. And I'm like, if I have to pick between playing against gadget or ramp, I'll take the ramp. I'll just build anti-heal. It didn't fucking matter, guys. It doesn't matter. He walks in, opens your fridge, eats your cereal, and leaves. He doesn't care about your anti-heal. He doesn't care about your crit. Ramp, guys, if you're watching this, ban him every time. Rampage cannot be allowed in the game.
Wait. You talk about cereal at the same time? Dude, talk about some steak or something.
Dude, he came in, he took your prime ribs and the barbecue sauce, and he left.
That's kind of something I wanted to address tonight as well, though, is don't play Rampage if you don't know how to play Rampage. Right. Like, just because he got through doesn't mean you have to pick him. Like, it's far more preferable in ranked mode that you play somebody that you're comfortable with than somebody that everybody else thinks is good. Menace and I played 2 ranked games last night. Both of them we won quite handily, quite easily. The first one, our team got mad because I picked Gideon instead of Gadget, and then the enemy team got Gadget, and they're like, oh, they got Gadget, now we lose. Then I pushed her shit in all fucking match long, and we won. Then the second game, team really lost their mind when we had first pick, and Menace picked Countess instead of Rampage. They're like, oh my god, and the enemy team got Rampage. Well, the enemy team's Rampage had no fucking idea how to play Rampage, and we shit on that team too. Like, yes, Steel and Rampage are really good, but practice them in quick match for a bit before you try and pick them up in ranked. And don't flame people that are trying to learn their Rampage in quick match. It's fucking quick match. That's where they're going to practice.
Menace has done that in solo lane too with Aurora against the Rampage. Left him behind I think he was behind by 4 levels against him when we were playing. 4 freaking levels. And this is a Rampage.
Dude, Aurora is kind of a slept-on pick right now. Like,
she is so good.
She is so, like, I don't think I've lost a single ranked game where I've had Aurora solo, and I think I may have lost one quick play game when I have Aurora solo. She is insane.
Win. The guy right next to you, or Mangoose, 100% Faye win.
Faye win?
He hasn't lost. He hasn't lost with Faye yet, right?
Yeah,
Faye's your hero.
It's hard to lose with Faye.
Mangoose,
yeah, Faye slaps.
After this
she
podcast,
slaps even more than Gadget now, actually.
Oh yeah, Faye deserves a ban way more than Gadget.
Hey, don't talk about Faye and negative stuff in the rest of the sentence. They're gonna nerf her or something. Leave her.
I hope
they need to.
Reaper pointed out in the chat. He said, "I'd say Faye is better than both," and he did. He does have a point. Faye is insane. Like it's so potent. And it's like any lane I feel like she's in, she's making an impact, and in the late game more than any other mage currently. I'm still a Gideon. I'm not a Gideon, a Gadget stand, but late game, dude, the just pressure a Faye can put on in a team fight is huge. And that
you're not going to take an inhibitor that she's defending.
No, you're not. Feel free to look. You can see it. You're not in here.
And you're not going to poke the carry that she's trying to defend either. So yeah, you can take her support too.
Yep.
She's pretty rough there too.
I mean, if you don't get like a Mangoose Faye player in mid, Howie slaps her around. But when you get somebody as experienced as Mangoose in mid, it becomes a problem.
Well, that's just.
Yeah.
I'm not to beat myself up, but
if you don't know how to play them, don't play them.
I'm not gonna lie. The last thing I heard Mangoose like say, and I don't know if this is cool for you, but like he's like, I don't mean to beat myself off, and I was like, wait, what?
But I do.
Look at the chat.
No, I don't want to beat myself up or anything, but yeah, that's. People seem to think that because something worked in quick match that it's going to work in competitive. Like, oh, I did this matchup in quick match and it worked out just fine. It's like, okay, yeah, your Wraith magical power mid lane probably beat the dog shit out of somebody in quick match, but against a team in ranked that has more than 2 brain cells working together, they're going to they're just going to wait out your mid lane Wraith. Yeah, you're going to bully them early, but then what the fuck you going to do at end game when Gadget's dropping a fucking Tesla dome? Are you going to surprise your team out of that Tesla dome? No, you're not. Your Wraith ultimate is going to do absolutely nothing, and your 1 damage ability isn't going to be enough to have an effect. I don't know. I really don't understand why Wraith gets. I love Wraith. He's a great hero, but I don't understand why he's banned in competitive. I see him banned every once in a while. I'm like, why?
Move slightly to the left.
That Gadget as a we've seen a lot of Gadget support in casual. Do you think that's doable in ranked?
Gadget support?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it work in ranked.
But it doesn't as it works in casual. Absolutely not.
Right, absolutely not.
Any good decker can really just
actually Muriel will fucking clap a Gadget support because she just you know exactly when that damage is coming, so you just shield the shit out of your ADC or yourself, and you just completely negate that Gadget, and then that Gadget is under farm because she's support, and she's just not a problem for the rest of the game. Muriel hard counters Gadget support. Muriel's a great support, by the way. If you like support and you're not learning her or ranked and you want to play ranked, learn Muriel.
that team impact you can make it. Also, if you, I feel like like the line that separates a good Muriel and a great next level ascendant Muriel is that map awareness. For me, whenever I'm playing support, there's a mini game within the mini game of how many times can I deward the enemy team? Because I know where you're going to put them. I'm coming out level 1 with like 4 wards. We can have this ward off. Me and you support. We can do it. But as well as that, there's no better feeling. Support mains in chat watching on Stunt and Magoo's channel. There's no better feeling than seeing somebody in solo lane and fuck off nowhere in a close fight, and you're just like, not on my watch, and you're just out of there. It is the most gratifying feeling when you land, they get the kill, and they look at you, and you guys share this moment of, I would have died if you weren't here for me. Like, it is so good. It is so good. You should be playing her.
Get sniped by a Murdoch and you die.
Yeah, it's like, and then as you like your hands reach out, that red beam.
Romantic moment about how Muriel saved you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Now that you mentioned Murdoch, why do I always? I come across a lot of Murdochs, including myself, right? I'm trying to use his rocket launcher ability, and I'm just like stuck on my knees the whole time. I go down on my knees, and I'm like shooting my rockets, and then getting back up is a problem. Do you guys run into that? Like, I even see enemy Murdochs, like, they're, okay, you're on your knees. Are you ever going to get up and try to fight me? Like, he's just down there the whole time. Is there like a certain cooldown where you can stand up, or what happens?
I think your Murdoch has an issue because mine doesn't stay on his knees that long.
Mine stays on his knees for a while. He won't get up at all.
Bro, listen, he's old. Don't judge him. They hurt, okay? Standing up, it's a process. If you listen closely, he has a voice always like, oh shit.
I guess that's a problem.
If I want to be an asshole and like the enemy carry is really poking me, I'll use that grenade launcher just to farm. Just shoot minions just to farm from a distance.
I don't think they hit that hard. I don't think they're annoying. They're annoyance, but they don't hit that hard.
Okay, quick non sequitur thing, guys.
But I do agree with one of the brick breaker that in solo lane, Feng Mao. I do agree with you. Feng Mao is a very powerful hero in solo lane.
Underrated.
95% of my picks in solo, I won't go Xeno or Grux or anything. I'll pick Feng Mao. Great hero.
Question for Lo. Have you been taking your phase support into ranked, and how has that been working? If you have.
I have not been taking her into ranked. I'm more playing Decker and Steel in ranked. It's my 6th match, and I feel I'm more powerful as Decker or Steel. Steel, if he doesn't get banned, I feel I'm able to absorb a lot of damage. I'm able to tank it out. I'm able to fight. I go in. I'm very aggressive when I go in, and I know I'm going to come out. I'm able to dive, and I know I'm going to come out. And if I do die, I make sure my carry is being fed while I die. With Decker, I'm constantly poking. I'm poking the shit out of the enemy and the support. I'm keeping them at bay. Sometimes I'm not even letting them, farm at all. If I do take phase, I've noticed any Muriel can just like shut me the fuck up. If I go phase against the Decker, one stun to my face, she can shut me the fuck up. Like, it's like they keep me with those pokes. A Decker can keep a phase at bay, and with Muriel's heals, she can keep a phase at bay. So I've been like toning it down with phase. Even taking her in mid lane as a caster, I feel like one Faye against me, I'm just like out of the league. Like I'm gone. Like I don't feel she's like a ranked, even though she still hits hard. Her blind is insane. Her ult is insane if you're linked to your enemy. But like, no, I don't feel her that strong in ranked versus casual.
Respect. I respect. I was just asking.
What do you think there?
I respect the steal. I respect the steal 100%. I've felt since the beginning that steal would be a great fit for you because you play on controller, and I think melee plays better on controller than range characters. I always felt that you would be good. You are very aggressive. To like not dive towers like I see a lot of steals doing, diving towers at level 2 and shit. But yeah, I like that. I like that you're.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites now. He's very fun. He's very tanky. You can, again, that's how you build him. But his nature is like, yeah, you're gonna poke at me until I'm level 6. Once I hit level 6, man, get out. Like you're done. You've done what you've done in the first 6 levels, and then that's it. I got my ult. You better be afraid of me, because I can, ult you in your tower, shove you back out, dive in. I don't care. My health regen, my tankiness, And yeah, he's very powerful, especially after them fixing the shield where it's covering a big chunk where nothing can pass through here. Yeah, like he's amazing.
I totally agree with Tom.
Even after the nerf, I think FaZe is still an underrated hero.
FaZe?
FaZe is still
FaZe mid lane is really good.
Yeah, I've seen players who actually know her kit and know how to use the kit dominating games. Like when you talk to people, they say, "Oh, she's dog shit because of the nerf and all of that." But FaZe, I've seen a dominant gameplay by some really good FaZe players.
So takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of patience. You got to kind of play your cards. Because a lot of the time, whenever I've tried FaZe mid, which has been twice, and then I was like, no, thank you. You're like waiting, praying for that jungler rotation to help you kind of get the setup and secure for it. So question for Mangoose and Stunt, you too, Low, because you play the most FaZe, obviously. Let's say if you had complete mastery over Gideon, Gadget, and what's their name? Faye and FaZe, right? If you have complete mastery over all 4 of those characters, you're in a ranked game. At what point are you picking FaZe over any of those previous 3 picks for any of you guys? Because for me, I actually think, which is weird because previously FaZe was like dog walking me for a time period until they nerfed her up a little bit. But like, I just don't think she's very good. Am I the only one here who thinks that? I don't think she's super great right now.
The only time I would ever pick FaZe in that scenario is if I was absolutely sure that I was going against a mid lane. She just dumps on Countess hardcore. She just hard counters Countess, but yeah.
With the options you gave us, I think FaZe would be a last pick. If I'm mastering, especially someone like Gideon, who hits like a fucking truck. Yeah. I mean, the CC, the everything that he has. No, I mean.
But yeah, that's kind of like what I mean, because we were like, FaZe is kind of underrated, which implies like she's secretly good and no one really knows. But like every time I've played against a FaZe, I am so excited. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay away from you, and I'm going to hit you when we do get close, and it's going to hurt you, and you're going to back up, and I'll know your jungler's coming because you'll move towards me. So I'm going to get under tower.
Yeah, it's the moment where she blinds. That blind, if she's a good FaZe, and she blinds you, and you have a teammate, for example, your carry is capitalizing exactly. He knows when you're gonna hit that blind, and he capitalizes on it. Yeah, you go into that seizure, you come out like almost dead, if not dead. Like you it's dark, and then you're gone. You're at base, back to the base.
It's bright, it's dark.
Yeah, that is the most. I think that's the most damage she can do to you at that point. Obviously, next to her ults, but like that blind is very, very like hurtful. Not just blind because you're blinding and it just goes into void. You blind and you capitalize with other stuff with your teammates, perhaps your carry, and pulling you, bringing you back where you think, okay, you're done, you're gone. Now come back here. She has that Richter pull in her. Come back here. You get more damage there too. So, but I would definitely not pick her over a Faye. Absolutely not. I still think that Faye is the best mid lane right now, just because she hits hard. She's a freaking awesome support because, yes, she's a caster and people don't like to take casters into supports, but hey, man, you can keep those people at bay. You really can keep them at bay with your abilities. Your your poke is extremely powerful. And the more you're able to farm with your yellow gem and you're getting your cards and you're becoming more powerful, they're going to fear you more. The ult is going to keep you away. It's going to do so much damage to you. Like, she's a combo of everything. She's hella aggressive. But I would not ever take a phase against a Faye. Faye wins. I would not take a phase against a Gadget. I think a good built Gadget still hits hard. She's still annoying. A skillless mechanic, but very annoying. I don't know with the Gideon.
Did you say a skillless mechanic?
Yeah, she's a mechanic. She does say back to the mechanic shop or something like that. She's a mechanic. She works, with her
Oh,
bombs and C4s.
yeah.
I thought you were just like calling her kit brained at like
No,
skills.
no. A lot of skills to play Gadget. Let's be real, right? We're not landing those like her bombs, her C4s. We don't need that much skill like we need for Gideon, for example. You're rooting and then your bomb. They have to be back to back to cause more damage to the enemy, right? You can just like throw them and throw them and throw them, and they're like, hey, when are you gonna shut the fuck up and stop? But against a Gideon also, if he's in the air and I link him as phase and I pull him, like, dude, come on, that's like a big smack right there.
Yeah, that's one of the few forms of CC that can catch Gideon, because the link breaks his CC immunity and then the pull actually pulls him out. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it to a Howie yet. That rodent goes up so high. Sometimes I'm finding myself like I'm jumping trying to reach him. I think
you'll still be able to catch a Howie if
you gotta time it right. Like the moment he's like, you're like in him pulling. I don't know what he says. I think Mangoose can imitate.
he says, "Eat shit."
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to mid lane, when you take Gideon, you take Faye, and you take Gadget, you can have a pretty good argument about which one of them is probably the best mid laner, because I think they're equally as strong.
Gadget isn't.
You like both, Mangoose. Would you take Faye over a Gideon?
Yes.
I know you like playing both. Would you? Yeah.
I would take a Faye or a Gideon over Gadget, hands down, any day.
Mm-hmm.
Between the three, yes. But knowing that you play both of them a lot more, I see you're more of a type where you'll switch back and forth between the two, between Faye and Gideon, because they're both pretty strong in mid lane.
They're both stronger than Gadget right now.
Yeah, they are. They're both stronger than Gadget. And I've played and I've won a lot of games with Gadget mid because I'm like, it's Gadget. I'll just stay in my lane and make other people tilted. But the power and control that Faye has over the game late and mid and early is she starts good and only gets better. There are points in the game where Gideon starts off and he starts off, I don't want to say weak, but definitely not at the power and potency that Faye is starting off. I think he's still very good, and he scales, I would argue, a little bit, not even a little bit. Gideon scales a lot better than Gadget does into the late game, especially when people have that magical defense on. Those hats don't matter. They turn them back like catch them, and they're coming for you. But I think Faye is hands down. I agree with like Spiritual Soul in the chat. Faye is insane. She is really good.
I want to bring it back to I'm sorry, Lo, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just go in chat. Ton brought up mage assassins need to be buffed as a jungle role for experience like Countess and Shibby. They take ages to farm a single camp. What I will say to that is I very rarely talk about upgrading the smite item, Destroyer Stone. But in this case, if you upgrade Destroyer Stone to tier 2, you get a hell of a lot more magical damage out of that thing than you do at tier 1, and it makes Countess and Shibby's early jungle clear a hell of a lot better. So if you just invest 1,000 gold into that, you'll get a hell of a lot faster jungle clear.
I will happily try that because I don't know much how much you guys play jungle. I live in it. I only come out to lanes when there's a free gank for me to get. But God, I count. I was playing a game before this, and I was like, "Hey guys, can I have fun and play something that doesn't work?" And I'm like, "Oh, what you gonna play?" I'm like, Countess, and they're like, "Oh, she's super good." I'm like, "Yeah." 15 minutes deep into the game, she's great. After I have my 2 cards built and I can like start 2-tapping people, she's marvelous. But so early into the game, she is such a grind fest. What's Ton? Dude, I have to 100% agree with you, man. If you're still here in chat, I would like to see them getting a little bit of an upgrade. I haven't tried what Mango said, which is like upgrade the smite card a little bit early to help your clear. Because I just run for the witch's boots. But Yeah, but no, it is definitely something that I hope they do in the future, because these characters are like registered under assassins. They are meant to be played here, and it just feels so bad. Like, I'll play a Shinbi, I'll play a Countess. I have 16 hours on Countess at this point, and I'm like, I should be playing Xena, or I should be playing Rampage, or I should be playing like Kai. Not really, but someone else in the jungle. Most of the time, I bring them in. It is something I do hope they tune, but I'm also kind of like not worried, but like concerned about how they're going to tune characters specifically. Because if we remember in the closed beta, Faye felt a little weak. FaZe was obviously insane,
Mhm.
and now like the roles have completely. So it seems like they're like. They're too strong. Okay, break the character. Oh, she needs to be better. Now she's like the best mid in the game. So I would like to see them maybe incrementally just tweak their kits like a little bit, even if it's by as low as like 2-3% on some certain damaging abilities and starting the threshold there and letting it like still have the same max at the end of the game. I would like to see my mage assassins for killing get a little bit more love. And, I apologize for going on that little
Speaking
tirade.
about heroes, what do you think? As I was reading earlier in the developer's diary, they're working on the new hero. As they've said, they're going to be releasing a new hero. I don't know how soon. Now, in the light of the fixes that they are working on as well in the game, what do you think they will be releasing next? We haven't seen any teasers. We don't know anything yet. We haven't read in between the lines of anything at all. But what do you think they're working on? Just a guess.
Grim.
Grim?
Grim.sexy.
You don't think
Real?
it's Drongo?
No, not anymore.
Why not? Didn't they release some photos of Drongo's
Yeah,
weapons and stuff?
Drongo.
Wouldn't it
Mhm.
be
They
Drongo?
did.
You know,
Yeah, but they've released lots of photos throughout the lifespan of this game.
the thing
What?
with Paragon Overprime is that they have the money and they have the manpower. So it's easier for Overprime or Soul Leaf to tease us Drongo and give us Grim, or tease us Grim and give us, for example, Crunch, because they do have the manpower in the back, working on skins, working on heroes, working on like when Ranger says we're already testing our next hero, I can almost guarantee you not they're just not testing one, but they're probably testing quite a few to to make up for their promise of giving us a hero each month. Um, I thought it was probably Drongo, but when Magus comes out and says Grim all confident like that, I can't argue with it.
No, you didn't think it was
I'm just
Drongo.
gonna
You thought it
shut
was
the hell up.
Wukong with an upgrade. You thought it was Wukong with an upgrade.
Well, we've seen a Wukong tease too, and
With an
and the
upgrade.
development thing. Well, Wukong with an upgrade. Yeah, that's what it was. Wukong's new kit. So yeah, it's I do like what they do with it though. They're kind of playing with the community's minds where they tease you one thing and actually give you completely something else. So either way, I'm curious. The thing about Overprime is for me is it's not the heroes that I'm mostly worried about. I'm more curious and anxious to see how they change up the kits. Because we know
Like
that
their version of
that's their
hero.
version. That's the exciting part for me. I know for a fact Drongo's not gonna come out and look like the OG Paragon. Drongo's gonna come out with some crazy shit like, and then I'm pretty sure Grim is gonna too. Grim's
I
gonna
mean,
be like
but they did tease his items. Like for example, for Drongo, you say they did tease his item. He still has his gag grenade. He still has his the thing you shoot and it comes
Boomerang.
back, the
Yeah, but
boomerang, and
the
he still
effect
has the
it'll
same
have it be
kit.
different. He might have his kit, but not, or his weapons, but not the effects.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna inevitably
I'm
change up some of the
I'm
abilities.
excited to see Adeli. I've never seen her. I see her in pictures and wallpaper stuff related to Paragon the Overprime. I haven't heard anything about her.
If you look at their there's a build website out there for the Paragon the Overprime heroes, and they have Adele's entire kit on it.
They do.
Like somebody has data mined her entire kit.
Mm-hmm.
There you go for Adele. They've even got her her lore written up. That's kind of why I say Grim too. They have Grim, Greystone, somebody else, and Adele on there. They don't have Grimm's kit or Greystone's kit, but they do have Adele's kit.
On my chat, Charlie actually is saying Grim is on the start screen, but not in the game.
Mhm.
So he
That's
says,
true.
I'm
Yes,
not mad,
sir.
but I'm upset.
Is Wukong going to be removed for 6 months again? I don't know. This is something that Jelly Knees talks about all the time. The company that can introduce Wukong in an unbroken state will be will get mad props.
Mm, I totally agree.
What better company than an Asian influence company to introduce Wukong?
Dude, the old Paragon Wukong was so goated though. Like
That old Paragon Wukong was, you picked them just to fuck around with enemy teams. You
If
picked
you were
them on
good with
purpose
them,
just to fuck around with people.
He's a trolly hero, very trolly. Very trolly.
if you were good with him, dude, he was every letter of the alphabet. He was AIDS, a moving STD, it was a harsh life for you in that lane. You're like, all right, I'm a back. An enemy tower has been destroyed. And it's like, God damn, dude. He's so fast at it. But I was thinking that hopefully they would be not hopefully, I don't care for Drongo. I was thinking they'd be releasing Drongo, but with once again, like Manku saying it with this sultry tone, Grim. I'm persuaded. Also, mostly because he is on the title screen. So I think it would make sense for them to get everyone that is on the title screen involved in the game first and then move on from there. But I am super excited to see Adele in the game with how well they did with Xena and how Xena's my favorite character in the game to play almost. Like she is so much fun and she's kind of busted, but she is so much fun. It just makes me excited for the characters.
Yeah,
they're
lower
gonna
your
release.
voice when you say
Xena-
busted. Because if you
Xena
do
is
higher it, they're gonna move
extremely
her.
fun. Xena's a fun hero.
Busted.
Yeah, she hurts. yeah. God forbid you get caught by a Xena, man. I hate Xena for that reason. I'm always that victim. No matter what character I am. I stun her, I teleport, she's just like on me. There's no way. There's no escape.
I hear the sound of her starting her dash when I'm not playing the game. I'll like be in the shower and then I'll hear like that ching ching, like as it charges up. And I'm like, oh God, she's coming. Like that, the distance, the damage, the knockup, is coming after it. Xena is the most efficient and fun assassin in the game. It's maybe not more than Kalari, but
What are you doing daydreaming about Xena in the shower?
hey, yo.
Oh yeah, I just remember the combo. Yeah.
What's
up with that?
No, listen, I did not buy that skin. I did.
What
But,
skin? What?
I don't know. I think Xena again though not great for comp because she's very easy to counter.
Oh yeah.
Because because her ultimate, anybody, because her ultimate will always, the person she ults, her last hit will be on that person. So you just move into your team. It distributes the damage evenly. Yeah, that last hit does some AoE damage, but now she's in the middle of your team and you just destroy her.
Hey, friend.
Or you just run her, like I was talking about with Gideon, you just go under a tower for that last hit, and now she's taking tower damage.
The fact that she doesn't freeze you in place and you're still running as she's ulting you.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Narbash. As soon as she's done, you just dunk her other tower before she can get her other combination off.
I mean, but how many Xenas are ulting you before you're basically dead? Like, if I'm ulting you and I'm playing Xena, listen, this is the chef's kiss. This is the cream on the cake. You're already probably gone, but I'm not going to wait for my other cooldowns to come up off. My apologies. But no, I also agree though. Xena's like most characters, it feels like unless you're Rampage. Well, unless you're Rampage are relatively easy to counter. And there are like Kalari, it's so good in ranked. It feels like maybe just being like silver one and just smashing my skull trying to get into gold, but I don't think people know wards exist.
I was going to say she's countered by a 50 gold item. How is Kalari good?
They don't know they're real. They don't believe in them. I'm like, hey, there's this. What if I told you there's this item that lets you see someone when they're invisible, and they're like, blasphemy. Oh shit, I'm being ganked by Kalari again. It's just like, oh, she's very pup stompy as it is now, and I just kind of wish, at least in my games, people were evolving to spend that 50 gold, not only to see her coming, but do their counter wards and stuff. but that is what it is. And over the course of the game, like growing and the community kind of getting older and aging with the game, for those who do stick with it, it'll pick up. It'll pick up.
Another small anecdote from that Menace game that I was talking about. We were up against the Kalari in the Prime Pit. She got really low, went invis, and I threw my Gideon combo at the front of the portal and caught her.
Nice.
Didn't know where she was, but I figured, I bet she's headed for that portal. Fucking destroyed her.
Reading her like a book, man, Goose.
Since I wasn't much of a Grim player, is there anything in the kit you would like to see changed, or do you guys want an original Grim?
I like the way Fault did Grim, actually. Fault didn't do a lot of things right, but they did Grim right. Grim was cool as fucking Fault. Like, he was a complete and total stance dancer. He had 3 different modes that you could change to. And
There's a lot of skill there.
Mm-hmm. And his and all of his modes affected all of his abilities, not just his basic attacks. Like in his yellow mode, it was still a lob that would displace people. Red mode, it was a straight line shot that would slow people, but it wouldn't go through minions. And then blue mode would deal extra ability damage, and it was a straight line shot that was a little bit lower range, but it would pass through minions. And then
Your long range was your blue, or the short range was the blue?
the blue was shorter range than the red.
Range. Yes, but longer than the yellow, I think.
I've never played Grim a day in my life. These are just colors to me.
He ran on an energy system instead of mana, and your yellow mode would regen energy on basic attack hit. Blue mode, you had longer basic attack range, and I think red mode, you had faster basic.
Mm-hmm.
They consumed mana.
That's dope.
That's why you see blue Grims as a
Brick Breaker, 100% agree. Grim better not have a 20-second ultimate this time around. I don't know if you guys remember, just before Paragon died, back in Monolith version 42, Grim's ult, like every 15 seconds, he was whipping that fucking ball at everybody.
Was it an auto lock too?
Yes, it was an auto lock that traveled through terrain. The only thing that could block it was a fucking steel wall.
Yeah, I remember. I know when you said Grim, I cringed for some reason. I'm like, why does that name bring me fear? Oh man, there was a comment that was here earlier that I kind of wanted to bring up. It was someone talking about broken items versus broken characters, and it kind of prompted in my head the question: are there any? Is that my cat?
Yeah, in the back.
Hey, what's up, cat?
With your anime stuff.
Yeah, she is. Luna, get down. I'm trying to podcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are there any items in the game currently that you think are too good, too prominently powerful, too much at the forefront of any archetype? Don't say Zemius. I like it. But
I know what Mangoose is going to answer.
Hit me.
Well, I mean, Ranger Teardrop is fine. The Ranger pointed out the 2 overly powerful items right now, which is the Fruit of Greed or whatever the fuck it's called, and the Pendant of Confinement. As far as that, as Zemias, you mentioned Zemias. Zemias isn't overpowered. The mask giving you AoE damage at 600 gold, that's overpowered.
Oh, that's too good.
Yeah. The component item, the tier 2 component item for Zemias, that's what needs to be. The golden cost for that needs to be increased exponentially.
Yeah, it is super good. It's super potent. Lo, do you have any items in your opinion that are kind of busted before I say my piece?
Busted? No, actually, I just, one thing I don't like about items being busted is that the moment people hear, oh, this is what you built. I see teardrops on almost every character, every single caster, mid laner. I even see teardrop on supports now. I don't know, people just have this, notion that will you build this like this for full damage? Everybody just like builds the same exact thing. I'm a big fan of tweaking stuff. I'm a big fan of trying other things. Maybe I can hit harder. Maybe, I can out damage my enemy if I'm, not necessarily this build is the best. Not every single caster has to have teardrop. It is very powerful. The teardrop is very powerful and it's annoying, but there are other items, the way you combine them, I think you can make little masterpieces out of them too. But no, I don't think anything is really overpowered. I do like Zemostoy though. I just learned to use it on almost every one of my tanks. Like every time I play steel, I got it right on there.
It's super good.
Oh, Soul Reaper, 100% agree, bro.
Yep, that was the one I was gonna bring up. Fanatics. Yep, Soul Reaper beat me to it.
Dessert?
I hate that.
Oh, it renders
Jesus.
Countess almost useless because you can't
It's like,
fucking kill anybody in a full rotation.
Reaper trigger. And I'm like, oh my god. Also, Reaper, since you're here, I actually wanted to thank you specifically because I hadn't used Pendant once. And then I was streaming a few days ago, and like Reaper came into my chat and he's like, that build has a disturbing lack of pendant in it. And I'm like, what? Like, what the shit is pendant? And he's like, the second item you build on every single mage. And I was like, okay, Reaper's a smart lad. I'm gonna give it a whack. I'll try it. Holy shit, that item is insane. God damn.
Reaper and I are on the same wavelength as far as builds and what's good in builds. It's just that he is mechanically way the fuck better than me. But a green gemstone on every fucking lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to thank Mangoose and Viking Jedi for. I use that as Murdoch just to stay in lane and farm a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It works like crazy.
The only two heroes that should not be taking green gemstone are your jungler and your support. Everybody else should be rocking that green gemstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you should get rid of it is if you're going to pick up a smite so you can help your jungler.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love it when Wraith snipes me and I stand still for 6 seconds to negate the next chunk of the snipe. He snipes me like, mm-hmm. And it's back. It's so stupidly good. It's so stupid. like if you think about it, why wouldn't you take the free like 80 shield every 6 seconds? It's free. Stay in your lane, farm.
And it has health and mana regen.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, man. I don't want it to be nerfed. I think it is fine as it is in the game. But Fanatics is just the bane of my existence. It's for me, it's just the shield. The stats on it, the crit, whatever. But every time on every carry that I get you low, he's like, poke. Bing. And I'm like, what am I fighting for? You're already shooting me for 900 damage every bullet. You don't need the shield to let me have this. It's just, oh my god, this is not coming from like a logical space of mine. I'm just tilted as a jungler over the Fnatic side. It is so annoying. Oh man. Okay, thank you for coming to my TED talk about that bullshit. Bill more green, Joe.
All right. Go ahead,
I
look.
mention about the 5 plays of the week submissions there. What did we have there for today? I know we didn't get as much of submissions, and we will be postponing that. I guess you can talk about a little bit about that there, Stunt. I know we've said we are waiting for more submissions. Within the holiday period, people didn't really submit a lot of clips, and to make it fair, we're not gonna have one today. We're just gonna postpone it for next week and get more clips.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, we're gonna have the winning submissions that we're getting right now. We have the 2 weeks, the 2 winners, the Pentakill and the Murdoch snipe. We're waiting for more submissions, so when we pick a winner out of the most recent ones, we can put these guys head to head for a gift prize at the end. This week we only had 1 submission. Obviously, it's the holiday season. Obviously, people are going out of town, so we're going to postpone it till next week, so we have enough for our viewers to vote on.
Yeah, and partially that was my fault because I didn't advertise it at all or send out the link at all this. I will do that this time and make sure that we have plenty of more submissions for that. My bad, guys. That's why we're not doing the pop 5 plays this week. It is my fault.
I can't believe this. Once again, Mongoose, absolute state, mate. Absolute state.
It's all of us. We need more submissions. It's all.
How dare you solely not advertise?
But we are getting some good ones, like that honorary one last week with the Shibby, the alt going through the portal.
Yeah,
That's the
Dude,
best.
I
Oh my God,
actually
that's
Pretty hilarious.
the
done
best.
that before, and
perfect.
it was so good because I didn't know at the time, and I was like, "You can't get away." I found that out. I'm like, "Oh, that's a tool I'm gonna use so frequently." It has never.
Oh my
happened
God!
again.
Anything you land on the enemy as they're trying to escape through the portal and they're so low, like if you land a gadget bomb and he's like, "Okay, the door through heaven, it's right there." Nah, come back here. You're
just
dead.
going to die on the other
Die
side.
on the other side. Oh my God! Yeah.
And
Speaking,
it feels like ever since we've announced this, Raven is getting 1 or 2 pentakills a week.
Yeah.
All his submissions are.
No, he's always
the pentas.
Jesus Christ.
he gets
Dude's on
pentas all
fire.
the time. Yeah. That's Raven for you, man. That if you guys want to watch a really good ADC, go watch Raven. On you find him on Twitch. RAEV. Fucking great player.
Stay out of his way, though. He'll kill you and the whole team.
you and all your friends.
We should
But-
we should make a custom match between Soul Reaper and Raven and just all of us spectate, just eat our popcorns and watch him play.
Let them fight.
That's two different. Like Raven's an ADC main, so Soul Reaper's a mid main. Like that's two different.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's true.
Soul Reaper's also the player where you give him any hero and he becomes dangerous. Menace was telling us to nerf him.
Or Soul Reaper.
Nerf Soul Reaper.
Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half. Do you guys want to go ahead and wrap it up, or do you guys have any other topics that you wanted to discuss?
I'm all
No,
good.
this message from Ranger was an important message. It was a well needed message because a lot of the community members were actually surprised that Overprime went quiet, being as busy as they are. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see what they're gonna do.
I'm waiting in anticipation for what these little 3 dots of lows.
Yeah, we're waiting on Low right. Lowe's being
what's
sneaky
happening?
right now.
Just
What?
ooh.
Lowe's being a sneaky girl.
I'm
What?
just
What's
typing in the chat.
what
I'm
are you? What are
putting
you
ideas
typing?
in your guys' brains, but not now.
Why don't you put it
Oh,
off stream?
I
Off
feel
stream.
I feel attacked.
I kind of want to do something, honestly. I kind of want to do something. Besides
Since we
like
fucked it
top
up, might as
5.
well-
Yeah. Besides like top 5, I kind of want to get the community's engagement. This is to be studied, right? I kind of want to get the community's engagement in this podcast where we do something a little bit different. If we do agree on it, where we have competitive play. Like I want to see Soul Reaper against Raven, for example, like what you guys said. I want that fight to happen on a live stream.
Do you want to do
And we
1v1s that we
comment
comment on?
People, yes, and the winner gets a reward.
I love it.
I want to see those people that say, "Yo, 1v1 me." I want to see here.
I'm
I
gonna
really do.
paraphrase what Lo said. Have you guys seen the movie Gladiator? She's bringing back the games.
No,
Spiritual Soul, I don't have that link right now. I don't know if you have me on Discord, but send me a DM on Discord. I'll try and get that link to you.
Did you just suggest we like try to 1v1 Soul Reaper?
You?
Yeah,
Do you
like,
want to 1v1 him? Is that like a indirect challenge? He's
don't make me live up to my name because you know I want to.
shit.
I want to. Don't make me say
it's
that on
official.
stream. Chill out. No, I need to train. I'm gonna get in the hyperbolic time chamber for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come out and I'll be ready. I'll be ready for him. Soul Reaper, much respect for how much respect you demand in the community. Super cool, dude.
Let it be known right now. If you want to call somebody out, call them out in the comments of the video, or on Twitter with Low, or Stunt's Twitter, or Ego's Twitter, whatever. However you want to do it, call somebody out, and we will televise your 1v1 mid lane. We got to come up with some rules and shit, but
spectator mode. I'll record it on spectator mode.
I will 1v1 anyone whose name does not rhyme with Pole Keeper.
Just an hour ago, we were telling you guys not to be shit talkers and stuff. Now we're asking you guys to shit talk each other.
no shit talk is fine. Shit talk is fine. Toxicity is not. There's a difference between shit talk and toxicity.
Pop. Oh my god, dude, we're
Ooh,
toxic.
Oh.
Toxic.
There we go.
Well, hop
Dude.
off Tarkov, Soul Reaper, and take me mid.
So, oh god, I'm so nervous.
Yeah, Soul Reaper, stop ruining the one game I'm good at. Get off there and come to Overprime.
When it gets to MySpace, it's
It was
personal.
So fast. Oh my god, it was instant. That man came from under my bed and like, I heard you were talking shit. Here you go.
Oh shit.
Dude, yeah. Dude, Reaper, dude, I would hella love to fucking play you, dude. I feel like I'd learn a lot from the situation and you'd learn a little bit about me too, bro.
We're gonna take Soul
Be a
Reaper
good
and
time,
we're gonna
man.
make boss levels. Whoever advances
right.
Raven is gonna go to Soul Reaper and slowly just go up the ranks.
I want to see something like that. I want to see Mangoose Gideon
Damn.
and Soul Reaper.
Look what
And
it
Reaper
man.
said he's gonna give him a freebie. He's only gonna use his Q and his ults.
Oh, dude.
Damn.
If you're gonna bring the smoke, bring the smoke.
1v1, bro. Pure, you can get it any day, anytime. Oh my, I'm gonna call that in the chat now.
Right here.
Any of you guys want to get
Yeah.
ego checked, you know where to find me, right here on Pop.
Lo, this is an amazing idea and I love it.
We're right on it then. Let's make it happen for these people.
Mortal Kombat ladder. Oh shit. All right. Well, let's start wrapping things up though. That's something that we'll need to explore. We need Narpash 1v1 would take forever. That is something we'll definitely explore in the future.
Ogre violence.
But yeah, let's start wrapping things up. Ego, any final thoughts, and where can everybody find you if they want to watch you?
You guys can find me with my foot and soul repossess.
Oh shit.
Oof. I already hear Soul Reaper alt F4ing Tarkov. I just heard him open up Overprime. Is in the loading screen right now.
Rachel just DM'd me like, you don't want this. But no, you guys can find me on my Twitch, TheEgoist. I've been streaming a little bit more. I like to be streaming about 15 to 10 minutes after we're done here. I'll be uploading some more YouTube content pretty soon. And more than anything else, you can find me personally here on Pop.
Hey, Stunt. Final thoughts, and where can they find you?
My Twitch and my YouTube. I respect all you players. I'm not challenging any of you guys. Fuck that. I'm just a spectator. I don't want my foot up anybody's ass.
Stunt, you were supposed to be beside
So
me.
peaceful. I love it.
No. I'm just gonna spectate.
He's like, I don't want to be in the line of fire.
If you guys want to play footsie in each other's asses, just fucking.
NureOnna, any final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Not at all. We're gonna work on this idea. Hopefully, we can make it happen for you guys. Again, happy holidays, guys. Happy New Year's. I hope you guys all be safe and enjoy your time. If you guys want to find me, all you gotta do is click on my name in Mangus's stream right now, and it'll take you to everything about me. All my links, NureOnna.
Yep, I have everybody's. If you're watching the YouTube version, I have everybody's links in the description below, so you can check them out. And I highly suggest you do. Give them a sub, drop them a follow, do whatever you want to do, but enjoy their content. That is going to be the Paragon, the Overprime Partners crew signing off. If you want to find me, you can look for me crying in the shower after a 1v1 Soul Reaper. That's going to be it for this week. You guys have a good one. Keep waving. I haven't ended yet. Keep waving. Wave harder.